Hi, welcome to What's Cooking with Rochelle. Today we are making pumpkin risotto. So risotto is a rice dish, an Italian rice, and you can see the rice kernels are different than what you would find on a normal long grain or other types of rice out there. You should be able to find this in a regular grocery store. And it should be by the rice, okay? All right, so to get started today, the first thing we need to do is go ahead and get our deep dish skillet on to a medium heat, and we need to get our broth to a low simmer. So I have 4 cups of vegetable broth here. We're gonna put that in the pot. And the skillet is the one that you can see. So the only thing going in there is the broth. We're just heating that to a medium temperature because we're going to be slowly cooking our rice. So in the skillet, go ahead and put your 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And you're going to go ahead and add the salt. Now, if you have salted butter, please omit the salt, otherwise it'll be too salty. And we are going to go ahead and let that melt. As soon as that is melted, we're going to add in our rice and our chopped sage leaves. In the meantime, we have 1 cup of pumpkin puree we are adding into our broth. And that's how we're going to be flavoring our rice. So if you're not a huge fan of pumpkin, thank you for checking out this video, number 1. But also you could switch it out to lots of other flavorings as well. So if you flavor the broth, for example, with saffron, you could do butternut squash instead of pumpkin. So there's many different options for you to add in. The only thing I'm going to do is stir that into the broth while we're waiting on the butter to melt. Okay, so our butter is hot enough. Let's go ahead and add in 1.5 cups of the rice. And we are basically toasting that, and we are toasting it with the chopped sage. That's going to take just a minute to go ahead and get browned on the outside. You don't want to burn it. You just want to get a light toast on it. That's what's going to add the caramelization factor to it. The last thing we're adding in right now is our chopped shallot. And that's going to take just a minute or 2 to go ahead and caramelize. The next 2 ingredients are going to be the white wine and the little bit of vinegar. If you do have white wine vinegar, of course you could use that. This is a simple hack to have on hand if you don't. And obviously you could even omit this step if you don't. The alcohol will cook off while you're cooking it. Just adds a little bit of depth of flavor, but of course, it's always your choice. Okay, so you can see we've gotten a nice caramelization on that. We're going to go ahead and add the vinegar and the white wine. Pour it around the edge. Okay, once that is cooked off, Then we're going to, a quarter cup at a time, add our broth to this mixture. The broth that you heated up with the pumpkin should be close to boiling or a simmer. So you want it so it's not going to reduce the temperature of your rice. And you want to keep the rice on a medium heat. And what we're actually doing is we're cooking the rice with the broth very slowly. It makes a wonderful creamy rice risotto dish. And if you overcook it and it gets too tight, you can loosen it back up with water, but you definitely want to try and prevent that. So you want your rice to be cooked to an al dente, which means you want it to still have a little bit of hardness to it. It will tighten up even more as it cools because there's starch in the rice. All these other ingredients we're actually going to be adding in once it is actually cooked. So these are flavorings that we're adding into the dish to finish it. The only other thing we are going to do, and I'll do that after we finish the rice, is show you how to fry fresh sage leaves. We're going to do that as a garnish if you care. Okay, so we added the last of our broth here. We're going to go ahead and bring this over just in case it's hot. Let me set my sage leaves aside for now. Okay, so the last couple ingredients that you're going to be adding into this is nutmeg. If you would prefer no nutmeg, again, this is an optional thing. Just adds more of that fall flavor. We are also going to add half of this chopped parsley. The other half is for use as a garnish if you would like. Now, if your rice got too tight, like I said, you could add water. You could also add some butter to loosen it back up. We're going to add in the Parmesan cheese. And depending on how thick your grate is on your Parmesan cheese, how much work that might be. Now, the pomegranate seeds and the goat cheese, those are garnishes that we're going to be doing on it. Let me add just a little bit more parsley. Excellent. And we are going to let this rest for just about 5 minutes. That'll combine the flavors and tighten it up. While it's doing that, we're going to go ahead and get a little skillet on the stove with just a little bit of either vegetable oil or olive oil, avocado oil, just a light oil. And we're going to fry up our sage leaves to show you what that'll look like as a garnish. See you back here in a sec. You need just a little bit of oil for the bottom. Our sage leaves come in a bunch usually. You want to take them off. Leave the little stem on, but you don't want to fry a bunch. You want to fry them individually. I'm just going to make half a dozen here or so for garnish for our dish. Okay, so you take your leaves and just place them in the oil. You're going to want to leave a little bit of space between them. It should only take a minute or two for them to get crispy, and it just makes a wonderful flavor. Let's get the last guy in there. Obviously, whenever you're dealing with oil, please be careful. Do not burn yourself. We're going to just place them on a paper towel just to absorb the excess oil while they cool. And we're going to go ahead and get everything plated. And I will see you back.
You flip them.
Okay, I hope you have gotten creative yourself. Look how beautiful our sage leaves look, and you've got that sage inside as well. And the pomegranates and the goat cheese just give it a nice toast. That's good. Thank you for watching What's Cooking with Rochelle. If you like this recipe, check out one of my others. Let me know what else you might want to see myself make, or if there's any questions on this recipe for substitutes, you absolutely could omit cheese or use different cheese. Thank you for watching What's Cooking with Rochelle. Bye for now.